There are 37 zones in the Elder Scrolls Online, 24 of which are in the base game. When you are presented with that many zones as soon as you load into the game at level 3 that are immediately accessible, that can be very daunting, overwhelming, and leaving you with a sense of where the heck should I start? Today in this guide, I'm going to show you which zones you should prioritize first as a new or returning player. Yes, I am not forgetting about you amazing people that are coming back to ESO, because some of you may have already done some of these zones. So I want to make sure I hit all different types of players. And thank you again to all my patrons. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to become a patron, check out the link below in the description, and more on that at the end. Hey there, my name is Adam, and many of you watching this video are either a new player, a returning player, or some of you are those die-hard fans that just watch every single video I post, no matter if it's me reciting poetry. And to you, I say thank you for being here. But like I said in the intro, ESO has 24 base game zones and 13 DLC expansion zones. So how on earth are you supposed to know where to start? And it actually does come down to a lot of personal preference. There are a lot of different ways to approach ESO because it is not like World of Warcraft. A lot of the zones in World of Warcraft are kind of non-existent, mainly because there's a gear score, so it makes content not really appealing to do anymore. But ESO, every zone is always viable because it's scaled, so you can go back to any zone at any time. So how on earth are we supposed to know where to start in this game? Well, there's actually a few questions we have to ask you, the viewer, first. And the first big one is, do you care about doing the story in order, or do you not care about doing the story in order? If you are in the camp of players that don't want to do the story in order, then let me ask you, are you a new player or a returning player? If you're a new player that cares about story progression, then you're going to want to start and focus on the starter zones, as I like to call it. These are the base game alliance zones. These zones are absolutely a blast to play through and are fantastic for beginners. If you're in the Aldmeri Dominion, then you will start out on Khenarthi's Roost, which is down here. Shout out to RuneScape's Tutorial Island, any RuneScape players in the chat. This will eventually lead you to Aradon. Here's where you will embark on your Alliance questline through all 5 of the Aldmeri Dominion zones. If you're in Daggerfall Covenant, you will start out, or should start out, in Stros Makai, and that will eventually lead you to Glenumbra and get you to finish the Daggerfall Covenant zones. If you're on Ebonheart Pact, you should start out in Bleak Rock, and then that will take you to Stonefalls, which will get you to all of the other Ebonheart Pact zones. Now, once you do that, you can follow this flowchart that was put together by the MVP Reddit user Than Tundris a while back. This is the storylines in order sequentially, with dungeon quests involved too. Like, honestly, this person is a mad lad for putting this together, so shout out to them. This JPEG will be in the description, and the Reddit article link will be there as well. But if you're a new player, you can technically take another route if you want to completely skip the base game arc, and you can jump to the Craglorn zone, which is over here, and begin the DLC expansion arc, from what I understand from the chart. However, this is going to be more challenging because DLC expansion zones are a little harder to do by yourself. Now, if you're a person that is a returning player and cares about progression, then I would definitely look at this chart that I'm putting up on the screen and find where you left off, and either choose to complete the base game story arcs or pick the expansion where you last left off and play that zone first. Furthermore, if you are a player that does not care at all about story progression and you want to just play through awesome zones and experience them at random times, then let me ask you these 2 questions to help you identify which zone to start in. First, do you want your experience to have more of a challenge and have more unique mechanics when fighting enemies or bosses? Do you want something more laid back and easy, or do you not care at all? Well, if you want more of a challenge and you are a new player, I would start off by picking a base game zone to play through. So that is your choice. You could do Aradon, Glenumbra, or Stonefalls. Then after that, I would pick Gold Coast as your first DLC or expansion zone, which is right here. The reason being is the Gold Coast is home to the Dark Brotherhood questline, so you will need that questline or DLC or ESO Plus. This is also a very relatively small zone, but this zone is very populated and usually pretty busy because players are chasing after the Minotaur and Order of the Hour motifs. The Minotaur motifs are gained by doing daily quests there, and they sell for a ton of gold. but this will allow you to have more of a chance to have help with players when killing world bosses in this zone. If you choose another DLC zone, there's a chance that some players might be there to help, and there's a chance that they might not be there. But as a new player, it would be difficult to solo some world bosses and some of the public incursion type content. Another reason I recommend starting out on a smaller scale DLC zone is because it doesn't overwhelm you with systems that are new and confusing, possibly for a new player. If you start in the new expansion zone of 2022 when it comes out this year, then you may be confused because you don't know what's going on. So I think picking a more dialed back zone is the best for you. Again, this is a personal preference, so take this as you want. If you want a challenge and you are a returning player, then I would recommend all of the expansion or DLC zones because the base game will just not be challenging enough for you, in my opinion. The DLC and expansion zones at least put up a fight in some scenarios. I'm not saying that they are extremely difficult by no means, but world bosses will definitely be more interesting, challenging, and fun. Also, public dungeons and public incursions like dragons, hailstorms, geysers, and wandering executioners will also be very challenging comparatively. Now, if you want a more laid-back experience and you are new, start out in your base game alliance zone. If you're a returning player, then do the exact same. And now, if you're a player that doesn't care at all about story progression, or you don't care if the zone is challenging or laid back, then my last question to you is, what type of biomes or areas do you typically like to play through in games or that you are interested in? Do you like snowy Skyrim-esque biomes? Do you like deserts? Do you like coral biomes? Do you like stormy or dark biomes or very well lit ones? Do you like volcanoes and lava type biomes, or do you like peace and harmony? Do you like nature biomes with a lot of fauna? Do you like barren biomes? There is a biome for anyone's liking in this game. One of the things I love about ESO is how great of a job the zone team does with creating zone aesthetics and biomes to fit the story and feel of the zone. So now I'm going to go through the top zone that you should pick for each biome. For the desert biome lovers, start in the Alakir Desert. It is an absolutely beautiful zone. For a plentiful fauna and oasis type biome, start in Grotwood, in my opinion. I love the plants, the trees, and everything that is in this zone. For dark biomes, or creepy biomes, I guess you could say, start in Rivenspire. For well-lit and peaceful type biomes, start in one of my favorite zones, Somerset. For stormy and barren biomes, start in the Deadlands, the most recent zone in ESO. For snowy and mountainous biomes, start in Western Skyrim that came with the Greymoor expansion. For volcanic biomes, start in Vardenfell. This is from the Morrowind expansion. For mechanical biomes, or like Dwarven-esque biomes, start in Clockwork City, one of my favorite zones. And for swampy biomes, start in Murkmire. If I missed one of your favorite zones to play through, make sure to leave me a comment below. Also, if you ever want to watch me play live, I stream on twitch.tv on Tuesday through Friday. You can check that link out in the description, as well as our Discord and our website, brahwegotthis.com. And if you do like this video, consider hitting that like button because it does really help the video out. Also, if you're looking for more zone-related content and zones you should play through before you move on from ESO, check out this video and the cards that I have, and I go over my favorite zones you need to play through before you stop your ESO experience. Thank you so much for watching, but until next time, y'all, have faith, be great, and I'll see you on ESO.